So, but WildCats better living through violence. I'm on the sixth issue now, and I guess I'm not loving it. The art is great. It's cool to see some of the old Wildstorm characters in there. I know they're not who they were before. It's like a complete reimagining kind of multiverse thing. But it's just I was kind of reading it. I'm just unsure of different things. But I think this is where the story is starting to try and pull stuff together. So essentially, you've kind of got two factions inside of the Wildcats, and like some are evil, and it looks like Void, who it looks like the good guys are trying to now hide their communications from the bad guys. You know, they've kind of gotten wind of it through the fact that Grifter was killed, but now he's back. Essentially, he turns up here. He just kind of, like you learned in the last issue, that it was kind of like it was a grifter from a different multiverse, you know, boring, all these fucking multiverse things, like. But essentially, he's back. You know, Ladytron's happy he's back, and now you're back. You're kind of with Zealot and Fairchild, and they're going on this mission. I don't even know what the mission is, but even I think no matter what happens, it still pains me when certain things happen here, because like Pike and Warblade turn up and they've got Backlash with them, and like Backlash is, like, to me, a beloved Wildstorm character. Like, you know, he had his own series, amazing art by Brett Booth. Like, you know, it was a pretty long running series, and he kind of just turns up in the background, and like, you know, Pike is like, this is Backlash, and he's trying to introduce himself, and Zealot just doesn't give a crap. Like, so it's kind of like, yeah, he's just a nobody in this, like an absolute chump just in the background. Like, but there's like grifters trying to kind of get to the bottom of things, like what's going on. Like, you know, they suspect there's kind of evil afoot, like, so he's in trying to investigate. They're trying to get access to Deathblow, because after Deathblow died, Deathblow was stored away in some kind of like air gaps computer, so that it couldn't get onto the network. But then he gets rumbled by Spartan, and excuse me. But yeah, it's kind of like, I think what I took away from this really was that they were trying to bring it together. They you know, it's now it's kind of game time, where the different players have realized what's actually happening, and I think there's probably going to be a full on fight in the next issue between the two groups. Like, but what really kind of I thought was funny, like, you know, so this is where Zealot was kind of like, I'm not having any of this, we're just kind of killing people. Like, I think they brought in the Toy Maker or something. I think he's like a DC character. It's just, you know, more just throw in these characters for the sake of it, like. And Zealot's fighting away, like she's kind of having none of it, but then Spartan comes in, takes her away. Essentially, you find out that they got the Deathblow program into Spartan, and now Spartan's body is kind of now has Deathblow inside Spartan's body. Like, it's just bizarre. I don't even know how, like, this is supposed to work. But I guess the funniest thing in this issue was they had a scene with Clark Kent and Batman, and like, to me, Batman should always be prowling through the streets of Gotham. Whereas this, like, I guess the second panel you can see a silhouette of Batman coming in, and then on the third one, you know, he's just like sitting there on a picnic bench chatting away to Clark Kent. He just looks ridiculous, and like he's eating some of Clark's chips. I just think Batman, it's almost like, you know, somebody in some kind of like S&M gear walking out of like some kind of weird sex club onto the street, like, it just in broad daylight. It just doesn't work, like, for me. Like, I think Batman should only ever be like in the shadows, in these kind of grotty environments. Like, if he's coming out here, like, just why doesn't he just come out as Bruce Wayne? Like, because, you know, Clark Kent knows who he is. Like, but I thought that was funny, and they're kind of talking a bit about what's the deal with Mr. Majestic saying he's a Kryptonian and stuff. Like, so these are probably going to be pulled in at the end. I think there's an insinuation here that Batman, he knows what's going on, everything. He knows Halo's a bit dodgy. There's kind of some weird stuff going on with certain people inside of Halo, like. So I guess in the DC universe, no one ever gets the drop on Batman. Batman's like God. Do you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, he's. It'll probably turn out in the end where Batman knows everything about everyone, and he implements some plan to save the day. Like, probably the Wildcats can't even do it themselves. Like, but essentially, it ends where you find out that Spartan is now possessed by Deathblow, and Grifter tries to kill Void. I thought that was kind of cool, like, you know, like, because Void was being all like holier than thou and powerful, and you know, Grifter just was like, I'm done asking questions now. And like, this death I think is justified. You know, I was given out in issue 1 that he killed someone for torturing monkeys. He just killed a scientist in cold blood. It doesn't seem like the action of a hero, but in this one here, he definitely, that was, I think, a justified kill, because Void is doing all sorts of weird stuff. Like, but it ends where I think, you know, Ladytron's not happy what Grifter done, and then there's some kind of explosion. It's like Void's kind of suit blows up, and then it's left on a cliffhanger. So yeah, I'll leave it at that, and we'll see what the next one's all about.